Peace and grace, Kingdom family. This is Darius Dior. It's Think Kingdom Media, where we have real conversations with real people, and we share real music here as well. But today we got a very special guest in the building. I don't normally introduce my guests like everybody else do. This ain't that kind of platform.
Yeah.
But what I do is I like to let people introduce themselves, because nobody can tell you.
Yeah.
You know, or you can't tell you can't. You're the best person to get information about who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're the resource, man. So if you can, for the people that don't know you, have never seen before, first time on this platform.
Gotcha.
There they go, right there, man.
Yeah, right here. This is where we are right here.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
If you could just tell them, man, who you are real quick, man.
Yeah, good. So I'll just do it real brief. I'm Alex Alderman. Currently, I'm a realtor by profession. I am a licensed realtor in the state of South Carolina, and I am a small business owner / entrepreneur. And I do an array of services on that particular topic when it comes to real estate. So, you know, on the surface level, that's it, and then we can kind of get into the rest of it, whatever, man.
No doubt.
I'm kind of bait in a little bit or whatnot. So that's it on the surface. Got a lot more, about my upbringing, military service, different times in corporate America, and different things like that, education and whatever that we can get into.
Gotcha.
And, so I'm here, but Alex Alderman, realtor, South Carolina.
No doubt. Usually people, when I ask people who they are, they usually tell me, what they do, where they've been, what organizations they're a part of, you know what I mean, where they live, You know what I'm saying? But that's not really what I'm asking is how you be, right? And that question comes twofold, like, how are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
in general?
Yeah, for sure.
But like, how is it to really work with you, right?
Yeah. For
sure. So it's kind of like a twofold question, because who you are isn't always necessarily all those other things. It's normal. It's really like, some people be out here lying, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people are salesmen, straight up CEO mode, right? Some people just trying to get to a bag, hustling.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some people are just, really here looking to serve people with the business that they're in. You know what I'm saying? And so, I guess for my audience, I'm really just trying to find out. Because I ain't about to sit here and act like I know you.
Right, correct.
I don't know who this brother is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
All
So
right.
we're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll say, from a professional standpoint, I'll address it, and we can get in and kind of go from here. But I'll provide an overtone.
Yeah, for sure.
So, in my profession, I like to look at it like this. I think that if we change our perspectives about real estate, actually the way it's interpreted, really in its actuality, I think that we have some components there that probably give us motivation and actually serve a different purpose. So what I mean by that is we oftentimes I don't think we capitalize on the opportunity to establish value as far as an individual, as a collective, if you put your family into it or whatnot. But we miss, or we don't appropriately address the account of home ownership as far as establishing value. Now, what does that mean? First thing you do, when you get pretty personal with someone, or you get in an intimate scenario with them, you got to get the address, drop the addy, right? Subconsciously, we go from there, and then I just leave that at surface level. Once we get an address or whatever, we establish some type of value with that subconsciously. You know what I'm saying? All right, so
like, where do you live creates some type of preconceived.
It established value. You know what I mean? It established value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm pulling up in a certain area of town, or if I'm, conversely, if I'm pulling up in a certain area of town as well, you have, or if you live in a certain area, you have that. But let's just break it down, just a little bit. Let's talk about the mechanics of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just use an example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So let's just say you have a home.
Yeah.
You purchased a home, $200,000, right?
Right.
You got a home, $200,000. You bought it. Let's just say, in an ideal world, the lender, bank, whatever financial institution you get the loan from finances it 100%. So
Got
it's
it.
100. It's 100%. So they gave you the whole 200,000, right? So I think we missed the mark on that because that essentially is the largest purchase that we'll probably presumptively ever make in our lives.
In our lives, right.
But we should be able to stamp that 200,000 as far as an individual or a collective value.
For sure.
At that point, and here's why. So
Now, when you say stamp that, you mean that should be recorded.
that should be recorded as if someone asks you what's your value,
Yeah.
and you had to put an intrinsic amount on that. You should be able to at least start with 200,000.
I'm worth 200,000.
I'm worth $200,000 because
Right
my
now,
house is worth. That's it, bro.
That's my net
It's a
worth
fact.
right
You know what I
now.
mean? It's right now, like you know what I mean? It's a fact.
And
check.
rising.
And rising. So exactly. So we can get it. So let's get into the mechanics of it, right?
Yeah.
So you got 100% of a $200,000 loan. You know, it's financed, right?
Right.
So the $200,000. There are 4 components that make up your mortgage payment, okay? So it's the acronym is PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance.
Right.
So, what's that mean, right? Principal is the $200,000, right? So
Yeah.
you're paying on that, okay? I'm gonna go into the other components of it, then I go back to principal to establish value.
Right.
So you got the principal, which
Yep.
is P, interest,
Yep.
which comes with the principal because the bank or the lender is going to have to charge you money on the $200,000 because they loaned it to you.
Right.
And over the next 30 years, they're going to get the interest on that.
Right.
Okay.
Which could end up being double.
Double the house. I'm going somewhere with that. Too. I'm gonna go somewhere with that.
All right,
I know.
go ahead.
Yeah, I know you got. But I'm gonna get through the acronym.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna go
go
back
ahead.
to principle, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts of it. So then you have taxes, where you can't really do anything about that. You got to pay property taxes. That's established as a millage rate. A lot of people don't know about that millage rate. That's how your taxes is. It's the formula that determines how much tax you pay. And then the last thing's gonna be insurance. So if you gotta get cars insured, you're gonna have to get your house insured, okay?
Sure.
So those 4 components make up your mortgage payment. Now, if we go back and we address just the principal, and I'm gonna use exaggerated numbers here,
Yeah.
and I don't want anybody at home using these numbers to determine, if they should purchase a house,
Right.
because they're gonna be skewed, but it's just for simplicity, right?
Yeah.
Just so you can understand, we can use round numbers.
Just for simplicity.
Just for simplicity. So, you got a house, $200,000, right? So let's just assign, again, for simplicity, a $1,500 mortgage payment on that. That's PITI, right? Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. $1,500. Now, for simplicity, again, this number's going to be exaggerated. Initially, let's just say $1,000 of the $1,500 goes towards your principal. Now, in reality, it's probably going to be the reverse, right? Of the $1,500, probably about $500 is going to go towards your principal initially. It's amortization tables. It's a lot of factors that goes into interest rates and your mortgage. So initially, it's probably about $500, but we're going to use $1,000. So
Okay.
let's just, of the $1,500, $1,000 is a month. You're paying towards your principal at $200,000. Okay. So the rest of the $500 is on the other 3 components: interest, taxes, insurance. Okay. Again, round numbers, $1,000. If you pay $1,000 towards your principal every month for 12 months, a year, that's $12,000. Okay, you do that for 5 years at $60,000. So that is $60,000 away from the $200,000. So you're at $140,000. Essentially, if we're using exaggerated numbers.
If we're using exaggerated numbers.
If
Got
you're
it.
using exaggerated numbers.
Got it.
Okay, so this is where I'm going with the value part. In conjunction with that, your home appreciates in value, okay? If your standard rate, we're just gonna say 7%, because 7% for a while is just what everybody remember. Interest rates is 7%. So if your interest rate is 7%, let's just say your home naturally, organically, if you maintain it, appreciates 3% in value each year.
Okay.
So on the $200,000, right? So
3%, right.
$3,000. So the first year is $200,000, $3,000. Then after that, it's 3% of that. So it's going to be like $200,000, $7,000,
Right.
whatever. Let's just say we do that on a 3% scale. So after 5 years, you know, you got around about 17.5 or whatever like that. However the number's going, it's more like 15 times 5 times 3 is 15.
15,
and then you
right.
put the, you know, the extra on there. It's probably
Simple
about
math.
17.5.
Yeah.
Simple math, right? So presumptively, in this scenario, exaggerated scenarios, exaggerated numbers, right? You have, you know, about $88,000 after 5 years,
right,
on these exaggerated numbers. So, again, your value as a human being, as a person, that's your cash, and it'd be very advantageous for you, especially on the interest rate you're paying on it. It's just not. And this is coming from a realtor. It's not advantageous to hold on to a house for 30 years and pay it off.
Right.
It's just not advantageous to carry that note out for 30 years. It's just not.
Not for 30 joints. Okay, so we got all of that information from asking this man how he is. Mm-hmm. So obviously,
yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. Hey, my bad. Hey, we got into
obviously
it
he's
very
incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we got into it real
you've
quick.
established yourself,
yeah, for sure,
as an expert with this thing. I'm thinking about my own situation, right?
Okay.
I got this home. I have a home in Manning that my mom owns.
Correct.
My dad was there. He passed in 2012. That house, they've had it. I graduated from high school in 2004. Mm-hmm. So they got a 30-year mortgage, right? So that house's value is like...
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Right? And so my mom's like trying to figure out what to do. She's getting a trust. She's trying to... Right? And so it's like...
Yeah. So I go a couple ways with this, but one point I really want to make and drive home is oftentimes we get into scenarios, especially over 30 years, you got to think, what happens in 30 years, right? You know, and you got to hold on.
A lot happens in 30 years.
A lot happens in 30 years, man. But what we don't account for is we naturally have, we struggle with maintaining our homes over the years. Keeping it maintained so it'll hold the value that we want it to hold, and we're not stuck with trying to sell it and dumping $15,000 to $20,000 into it because we just didn't maintain it over the years. What happens is, you know, it's lined up, and I know we get so carried away on home prices, and you know, the prices rising up or whatnot, but I think it's for a better good because it keeps us in balance. Now, it's check and balance. Now, we are seeing how buying too much house can get you. You know, you buy $3,000 square foot home, man, that's a lot of house.
Right.
You know, to take care of. You know, the plumbing issue we ain't calling it ain't $500 issue, you know, if something goes wrong. You know what I mean? If you got tankless hot water, you know, just
it's a lot that comes with
maintaining it. So what happens is you have someone who purchased a home, you know, you got Big Mama who purchased a home, you know, 60 years ago, whatever like that, and then home, whatever has been going, and then you have everybody's growing up in it. You got 2 generations, 3 generations that grown up in it, and then at the end of it, you know, you got 4 or 5 children scrounging over a house that was poorly maintained, built in the 1940s, and probably divided amongst everybody. You know,
it's not
a lot of money, and then they're going to argue. It's going to be points of contention amongst it. Siblings not talking to each other, everything. It just kind of goes out of whack. So again, back to my point of not really holding, you know, homes for 30 years. And I'm saying that as a realtor. All right, let's look at it like this right here. There is and I talk about it a lot. There are a limited amount of things that you can do or do for someone that they will pay you in excess of $50,000 in one day. It's what can you do to do that? You know what I mean? Like, what would you have to do in order for somebody or an entity to pay you $50,000 in equity, cash, $50,000 in cash, right? The quickest way, the most simple way, and it has to be either the top 1 or top 3, is home ownership. Yeah. After, you know, about 10 to 12 years of staying in the home, you sell it, you walking away with 6 figures. Yeah. There's no way. It's just the natural flow of if you so long as you maintain your home. So with that being said, you got to take the bag and be smart with it. Right. You get what I'm saying? So you get that $88,000, $90,000, $112,000 bag at 35 because you bought your house at whatever, 22, whatever, and you stayed in it for 12 years or whatever, and and you run off with, you know, $110,000.
$100,000, and then now you just got that money sitting up in the bank.
And then you have to, you got to figure out how to take that and then utilize it. Right?
So, Alex, this conversation is about financial literacy.
Yeah.
And, and I want to thank you for just bringing that, flying this plane and landing it, right? Because I think sometimes we really have to break it down in layman's terms to understand, like, you see this happen all the time. Houses end up on the market.
Right.
And you end up in those situations like that.
Correct.
Because people don't have the information that they need. And this is the value that you bring.
For sure, for sure.
And this is what it's like. This is how you be.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help. So, you know.
I get it.
Yeah, so that's it. So I think it's all, and again, it all goes back to perspective. You know, what's your frame of reference? What's your box? What is your box in front of your face? What does that look like?
Yeah.
How big is it? You know, are you able to, you know, look beyond it? So it's also about information too, and then conceptualizing information as well. So education part of it, got to earn the MBA. All right, so we get into that.
Yeah.
I'm all but dissertation and a doctoral degree in business administration. So I'm gonna have to give my flowers a little bit. So the financial part of it and just the business acumen comes. It was earned. You know what I mean? I put years. Like again, I'm all but dissertation. And any scholar knows that means that I've completed all coursework at the doctoral level. Yeah. And I'm just in the mix of getting my dissertation and defending my dissertation, and that's a different story. I mean, we can get into it. It'll be long.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really, like I said, I want to make sure I serve the audience, and like I said, people. People tap in. People are looking for ways to not end up a part of whatever's going to be left of the middle class no longer existing, right? And so, I know people are looking for ways to make money, and I saw a piece of content that you put out online, man, and I said, oh, okay. This brother is knowledgeable about what it is that he does. Yep. And so you hear people talk about doing real estate or becoming, you know, trying to get their license or, and they're trying to tap into that world. Yeah. What you learn or what I've discovered, and I can only speak for myself personally, you got to really be able to be network, build out a strong base of connectivity within, you know, your realm of people that surround you, and people will. That's how you, like any other business, you gotta. You need people, you need value, and then that's when the money comes, right? Those three things. And so, talk about just the mindset that you gotta have. Because I know people come into this space that you in, bro. They don't even get a chance to finish the licensing.
So all right, so you want the crash course, or you
can give me the crash course.
Your crash course. So let's just do this. So you know, the licensing part is pretty straightforward. In total, it's about 3 weeks. Okay, it's 2 weeks up front, then you have a week of that, and then, you know, you just study for the test. You got books and everything, and then you take it. You take and you just study for the board. You pass it. It took me. I'll be honest. It took me. You got to take it past national and state. It took me 3 times. Right. So once you get your license,
so it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's conceptual. So it's just a different way of thinking that we're not used to.
How long did it take you to start getting to the bag?
So this is straightforward. So what I did was I was business minded. Usually most realtors, when you come in, especially me, I established my own business. So I got an LLC so I can get paid through my commissions. So I have my own business. I have my own LLC. However, all my real estate transactions are I'm paid through a brokerage. So the real estate portion of my business goes through another brokerage. SM Realty and Associates, Tammy Lyles is the broker. So anytime shout out to Tammy. So and Yvette. So all of my real estate transactions are funneled through the financial part, are funneled through that brokerage. Okay.
Got you.
In the state of South Carolina currently, the governor just last year, Governor McMaster just last year, increased the brokerage eligibility age from 3 years to 5 years, okay? So I'm in my 4th year of real estate. I got another year before I'm eligible to test for my brokerage so I can have and legitimize my own real estate business so I can then hire other realtors and just do all real estate activities, okay? So right now, I'm in my 4th year. I'm brokered for real estate transactions only under SM Realty, Tammy Lyles again, and that's how I get paid from that.
Shout out to Tammy again.
Yep. All right. So, so I established Alderman Property Group. At first, it was you still ain't got no realtor, but I changed the name recently to just make it more professional. So you go through the state, you get all your paperwork, articles.
Same.
EIN,
right.
You go up, get your EIN. It doesn't cost anything.
Yep.
So once you do that,
right.
Then you got your Dun and Bradstreet, and then you got your NAS number.
Establish your business credit. Your Duns and Bradstreet.
Duns and Bradstreet.
We need to understand this.
Yeah,
Come on.
for sure. And then you have those codes, your NAICS codes that your business operates under. So I have real estate, and then I have consulting. I have research and development. I have different codes in which Alderman Property Group can operate as a business entity.
Gotcha.
So the consultant part is when I really kind of go off. So you start getting to the bag when you start realizing that. So what happens is you're going to start out like any other realtor. It's going to take you a year, 2 years to really cultivate it, to really shift the dynamic of how you're perceived and how you're looked at and viewed as a person, personally and professionally. Okay, so the personal part starts first. I have to be your nephew still. I got to be your cousin still. I have to be your son even still, without coming around you like I'm trying to solicit homes and solicit sales. You know, we're taught as realtors, at least initially, to work on your core, and all working on your core, your sphere of influence. All that means is working on the people around you, people that you know. So you start out there. That doesn't work. Hopefully you can get with a well-established business and kind of ride off whatever lead
work
system.
as representation.
Yeah, but the major thing about real estate is doing actual transactions. And this is how you get to the bag. It's repetition, because the only thing standing in anybody's way of helping someone sell or purchase a home is knowing how to do it. Okay? You can be a licensed realtor and not know how to legally take someone from start to finish through the entire process of purchasing a home. And that's what the problem is. You can't get to the bag because you've never even sold a house. You never even helped anybody buy it.
You have no idea what
you have no idea what steps, what happens when this happens. You know, when do you order appraisal? On what side do you have property disclosures? Who's responsible for what? How do you break down the fees and actually down payments and everything that comes along with actually purchasing a home?
So it's the knowledge.
It's the knowledge of it, and you don't get knowledge unless you actually do transactions. So my best advice to any realtor coming out, whatever split, take it up front, because you want to get the transactions up so you'll know how to close. That's the only thing. People come in, they do in 1-2 years. If you only do 3 transactions in 1 or 2 years, you don't know enough. You don't even know how to take. You can't take your.
You don't know what you're doing.
You can't take someone to the closing table. You can take your mother to the closing table if you want. You know what I'm saying? If she lets you, because you don't know the mechanics of it.
Right. So
it's about getting that experience.
Man, this is incredibly valuable. This is the food y'all need to be eating.
Man.
Just now, I had someone look at me or experience me in some capacity, be it personally or professionally, when we doing service, and say, you should get into real estate. You would make a really good real estate person. Yeah. Right? And you said something to me that kind of connected the dots on that, because I'm like, what about me? I know nothing about real estate, right? So how could you just assess through our short little interaction that I should do real estate or I would be good at it.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And so I couldn't really understand that. So for somebody saying that or hearing that from someone else, what do they mean when they look at somebody and say you'd be good?
Yeah, so it's about execution at the end of the day. I mean, we can sugarcoat a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's about
You
getting it
handsome,
done.
you cute, oh, people like you.
Yeah. So those are great components.
Your popularity,
Whatever. Can you talk to people? And the most important thing about real estate is trust.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you're entrusting someone to either sell the largest
transaction you've ever done in your life,
or purchase the largest transaction they're ever going to do in their life, man. I mean, I've been, and it's not any other purposes, but I'm saying I've been in transactions on $700,000 homes.
Yeah.
And we're at the closing. It's $700,000 home. So when you put that in perspective, all that went into it, all the inspections that had to be done, all the checks and balances, appraisals, different things. It's when you operate at a level like that, it's a lot of responsibility. So I think, and I could probably attest to it too, from what I think they're just speaking to that part of it. You got to execute, so you got to be able to get it done. By any ethical means, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you have to have a track record of results, and people have to trust you.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
You got to be integral.
That's the most important thing, because a lot of people, not a lot of people, I won't frame it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, as realtors, we come in and we wonder why different people choose different people different. It's all about trust, man. It's all about, can I trust you? And then contrary to popular belief, a lot of realtors we don't really get into your financial situation. You guys, we get brought into the financial situation because it's just something that's assumed.
A part of the nature, yeah.
A part of the nature that I'm going to know your pockets, I'm going to get. Really, it's just as simple as this right here. If you, as a consumer, do what you're supposed to do and you're trying to purchase a home, it won't. All you need to do is talk to the lender and then hand me your pre-approval letter. That's it. I don't even need to know any of that. But we get brought into it, and then it brings us into a place that we have to be trusted in order to successfully get you through it. So it boils down again to trust.
Wow.
Like, can I trust you to know around about how much money I make? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Give or take.
And normally that trust comes from people who know you, people who know them, connecting the dots, having a community of people around your business is super important, and building a brand. And brand is more than just marketing and promotion.
Correct.
But the feeling that people get from being around you, seeing your content.
Yeah.
It's like you said, the perception, how people perceive you.
How people perceive
you never stop being somebody's son.
Right.
You never stop being somebody's brother. All of that stuff. It's the same principles that apply to any other business. In the space that you're in, just given the history of it, people like John Hope Bryant. John Hope Bryant.
That's my guy, though. John Hope Bryant is my guy, man.
Myron Golden. There's a lot of people that I consume on a daily basis that talks about these things. But then you have other experts and people in finance that'll tell you buying a house is not, end all be all for generating your wealth, right? It's about finding value, connecting with people, and establishing a brand that people will connect with. McDonald's doesn't sell cheeseburgers. They sell happy when your kids see the M. And
For sure. Yeah.
Nike doesn't sell sneakers, right? They sell athletes just prestige, and if you got on Nike, you're the best athlete, right? It's something about brands and businesses that come with the feeling. And in real estate, and as real estate agents, you see, different branding.
Different branding. Yeah,
man. And so just like anything else, I would ask, you know, there's always a light side and there's always a dark side. There's always pros and there's always cons. And I think some people, and I'm people, I've always looked at, you know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking for you, I'm speaking for me.
Yeah.
I've always looked at the real estate game as a bit of an uphill battle, right? Okay. And it's like, well, what can I create, right? Other than, let's just say I did get good at it and I made $1 billion, right? You know what I'm saying? What are the pros and what are the cons to this game?
I'll address it like this right here.
Yeah.
This is just a fundamental belief, right? On a scale now, not including inflation or whatever.
Yeah.
I believe that, you know, financially, if you're able to get paid, and I'm gonna use financial, if you're able to get paid in increments of $5,000 or more. Yeah. Right? Whenever you get paid at anything you're doing.
Whenever that is,
Whatever that is. If it's 5,000, I think 5,000 is the magic number because it gives you so much freedom when you get paid that, because we're so accustomed. You got to think $5,000 every time you get paid, or every time you get paid, that's like $10,000 a month if you're doing it on the pay scale or whatever. That's like $120,000, like, and it's really 25% up. So that's like $150,000, $160,000 a year. So to do that, so I will say if you can establish anywhere that gives you flexibility in that 5,000, that you're good to go. Real estate does that, okay? So what happens is it conditions you to get paid by commissions. So one thing is if you don't execute, you don't eat. Yeah. If you don't work, you don't eat. One thing. That's it. So if you have a mentality for it. So what happens is you'll see over time, and this is how the seasoned realtors really get into it. Yeah. Over time, getting paid commissions at 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, boom, and you line them up month after month. You go on a 6-month spree of a closing every month, or you line up 3 closes in a month, and you made $25,000 in a month. That's what real estate looks like if you're good at it. Right. You know what I mean? It only takes 3 transactions really at a 2.5%, 3% interest. I mean, 2.5%, 3% commission rate to really get to about $20,000 in a month. Right. So once you do that and you start looking at the world like that and you break away from the bi-weekly cycle. Yeah. You know what I mean? The bi-weekly.
You break away from that bi-weekly cycle. I would like to think that you lean into the knowledge gap on some.
Correct. And then it forces you to budget your money because you have to. It takes money to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. So right. It's a combination of learning how to use credit wisely, leveraging debt. You know, different things that comes with that, and you have to be able to do that. And I think people, it can be easily overlooked. Though certain steps in the process can be overlooked or not done or not completed. For sure. Or skated over, or you try to chase shortcuts. And the reality of it is, it's just about a process of doing it. Patience. It doesn't, I mean, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Everybody says that's cliche, but a profession, a 6-figure salary, you know, what does it look like to make $250,000 a year? You know what I mean? Like, in income. You know what I mean? Like, what does that look like? From a business standpoint, from an individual standpoint, how are you going to get that in there? And I just think real estate, and for anyone, so when you're seeking and you're listening to stuff, and you're listening to people, I love John O'Brien. You know what I mean? I listen to that dude, man. He's spot on. I don't disagree with anything he says, you know, but it's a vantage point that he's talking about. So when you see these people on social media platforms, they already got money. They're just telling you how they're managing the money they already have. And it's hard to apply as an average person. So when I hear things like, you know, don't invest in real estate, do whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's easy for you to say from your vantage point, from your perspective, right? But for the average person this may be your only shot at, you know what I mean, like
Make
at
right.
at winning.
You winning. Yeah.
It's a clear shot. And you have all the answers on the test for it. You know, what you need? Down payment, you know, you're going to be whatever. You got to have a little bit of money saved or whatever like that. And then to speak to that part of it, I would just say we invest in so much, man. We invest in so much stuff, but we never look at home ownership as an investment. So whatever the 3.5% that you need of whatever that you got to come for the down payment, it's an investment. It's a one-time investment. Just come up with the money, get the house, start building equity, start paying down towards your principal in the opposite direction, and then in 5 or 10 years, come holler at me when you know you're worth $75,000.
Right. So that's how the transactions that you make, they actually follow you as a realtor, because I did this purchase with you.
Correct.
Right. And so I probably don't want to trust anybody else.
Correct.
But you. So now all of the business that I'm actually doing becomes on some level residual, and it multiplies because those people know people that will connect me to people that will also connect me to people. And now over the course of 3 to 5 years as a realtor, I've created
a network,
a whole universe.
And then you consistently getting paid, you know, with a very minimal work, you know, to be done. You're doing contracts. You know what I mean?
This might be something that you want to do.
Yeah. It could be something that you want to do, but, you know, you got to be realistic now. You got to. There's a point of.
Let's talk about the cons now. Come on.
Yeah. Nah, well, so there aren't. You know, what the major con to real estate is being able to weather the storm, man. Financially,
when it's slow.
When it's slow, man.
You was up. You had
man.
10 grand in the bank last month.
Yeah, last month.
You went to Costa Rica. You bought the wheel.
You bought the wheel, and you just never account for it. So you know, and then it takes a lot more than just you know, knowing people and knowing and working your spirit, man. You really got to get in spaces, meet people, have interviews, talk to people, and get people to really trust you. It's all about that. It's all about trust.
Yeah.
You know, can I trust you to not, because you already have a negative connotation on real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already like, you know, we make too much money and it's all third, and you see realtors with flashy or whatever. It's all commission or whatever. But what you don't know is that commission, that's spread out over a course of, I've been working with you for 6 months. You understand? Like, you know, I've been working this for 6 months.
Build equity in this.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so when I get compensated at one time, you're not looking at the work that actually went into it. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean work ain't getting done.
Work ain't getting done.
Yeah, you know, if you get to the closing table, a lot of work was done from a real estate standpoint.
Yeah, you end up getting some value there. So. The knowledge gap, like I was saying.
Yep.
We honestly have to say people coming into real estate to work, right? And also the clients and customers, most people who own homes, this language is foreign.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
So what one of the things is, and it's not contingent, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that makes I think subjectively makes better realtors is being a homeowner yourself, actually going through the process. And again, you know, I'm gonna tread lightly. You know,
let's tread lightly.
If you got to be able to consult people, and then you have to be able to consult people from a genuine standpoint,
right?
A very knowledgeable standpoint.
Experience,
right? What other experience? What best way would you get than doing it yourself?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm a homeowner a few times.
I've done
it. I purchased my first home at 21, turned 22 a week later, and I sold it, 17 years later. Tapped into the equity.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And then went bought another, tapped into the equity. Then went, and then just keep rinse and repeat.
And then you just keep this is monopoly, y'all.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, yep.
This is
for
monopoly.
Sure. For sure, monopoly. It's best, really. You know what I mean? So
real monopoly.
It's real monopoly. So again, back to that point, you will see that real estate just opens you up, because if you're talking about investing in real estate, why not just get paid to do the transactions as well? And once you figure that out, it's the glitch in it. And then you can position yourself to really make some smart investments out here, because a lot of times, a lot of investments, they go under because of they don't account for commissions in the profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you doing a flip, yeah, you'll make a certain amount of money. Let's just say you make 60 grand off a flip.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're projecting to make 60 grand off a flip. Bro, $20,000 that's gonna be tied up in commissions, and another $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 is gonna be tied up in fees. So you don't account for that, and then you do that enough times back to back, then the margins start getting slower, then you have to put more into homes or whatever. So that's where, when we kind of came out of COVID, that's where the investors really kind of lost out on. If they were able to hold on to them and rent them out and do whatever, and hold on to them, and then they got the money, their liquid capital to kind of go back into them and put the repairs into them, they can sell it and kind of come up right now. But that's where a lot of investors kind of went. And then now prices, they're so appropriate that it's no meat on the bone left, unless you're a realtor. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you have to make investments and flip houses and do whatever, and you're not a realtor, actually getting paid for completing the contract, the transaction, then it's very little meat on the bone. There is meat on the bone. I do that as a service too. A part of my business, Alderman Property Group. I do that as a service. So I provide a consulting service to walk people through that. If you would like to flip a house, I help you locate a property to flip, work the numbers out,
figure out what kind of capital you need.
How we would procure the property, the project management over the construction, the renovation process.
That piece of it.
And, I help list the property and sell it on the
So
back
I
end.
can make a real investment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could.
From a business standpoint, and not have to.
To worry about, I take I take as much risk out of it as I can, and I provide knowledge from a standpoint.
And there'll still be some risk though, because
still be some risk
you
there.
never know how it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
From building it to people who's gonna end up in it, who you sell it to, how and stuff like that.
And it's a real thing. This is not like a fabricator. It's not like a theory. Right. This is like what I do. That it's a sector of my business.
Yeah. So. There's a brother that lives at the end of this block. He has probably got the biggest house on his block right now. Uh-huh. That's all he does is flip homes. He doesn't do anything else with his life.
For sure.
And I'm like, so he's like, I got a property over here and a property over here, and I just collect rent, man, and take vacations, brother. This is what I do.
And to speak to that part of it is, so what happened was, man, and I go into it because this is informational part.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go into the market, understand the market now. What happened was, you got to think, 10, 15 years ago, you had people purchasing homes at a much lower interest rate, at a much lower value. So their monthly payments, PITI, right, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, their payments were so low. You may have a home that has a $1,300 mortgage on it, right? It's 3,000 square feet. It's 13, because they bought it 15, 20 years ago. They maintained it well. So what happens is, when you go in the rental market switched up, right, they were able to capitalize. They can rent out the house for $2,500 a month, and their mortgage payment all in is only $1,300. So they make a $1,200 a month
profit
just off purchasing a home at the right time, maintaining it properly, and then renting it out over the years. And then you run flat as a income and expense because you can provide a lease. And once you have a lease in there, you run flat with that, and then you just profit off of everything else out of that. So that's how a lot of people took advantage of the upside. So if you're out there and you're thinking about, hey, when should I get in? When should I get in? It's never a wrong time to go ahead and start, because I have not, unless you did not take care of it, unless something catastrophic happened to a home, I just have not seen homes depreciate in value organically.
It just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. So any any time you purchase a home, it's going to be the best time.
You
Now,
coming up.
The best time would have been about 15 years ago when you could have got $1,000 mortgage payment on, a house that's, 2022.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? 200. And so yeah, I'm getting, but so, and then you capitalize on the rental part of it, so long as you kept it maintained or whatever. And then
Yeah, man. I'm with you 100%. I told my mom we're never selling this property.
Yep.
I don't care. I mean, they can keep that little $200,000, $300,000 trying to offer. Mm-hmm. We can really build some generational wealth with what we have with this property. And when we do that, when we get prepared to sell the home, then figure out how we can purchase another property, right? It's got to equal more equity, more value, more property before we ever sell it. We can never make this a lump sum of money sitting in me and my sister's bank accounts. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so and then too, great idea. And I will say this, but again, and I'm giving you information too. So when you look at stuff like
free game.
Yeah, this is free game. So when you look at stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You got to take in all the accounts. Okay. Let's just say you have a home, and again, we'll use exaggerated numbers, and I'll use whatever. Let's just say you have a home. Hypothetical. Let's just say you have a home. You're sitting on it, you want to keep it for the next 10, 15 years, right? And it's paid for, okay? And you think it's a good idea just to hold on to it, it's paid for, right? Let's just say you're looking at $100, $200, $300, whatever $1,000 into the home because it's paid for. You got to pay taxes on it.
Every year.
Every year. You do whatever number.
Whatever
$5,000.
Let's say it's $3-4 grand.
$3-4 grand a year times 10. That's 40. That's $40,000
right.
you pay in
Are
10
you
years.
ready to invest in a property that's sitting there 40 grand over the next 10 years? Now,
if you don't do anything for it. So that's what I'm saying.
If you're not living in it.
Not living in it.
No one. You're not renting it out.
You're not renting it out. It's going in the opposite direction.
Right. So either the money's got to go into taxes every year, or
you have to find another investment. You have to cash out on this investment. Don't be so emotionally attached to it and look at it for what it is. Real estate is generational wealth, and we always carry it out too long on the generational wealth part. The generational wealth is supposed to be while you're alive.
So let's talk about this, man.
Yeah, like while you're alive. That's how you start creating generational wealth.
I'm sorry for keeping y'all this long, but you will get this work. No,
yeah, my bad.
No,
I mean, we need to go, man.
We don't need to go. They need to get this work.
All right.
Listen, so you said something important. Emotional attachments, right? I didn't grow up in that house, right? But my son grew up in that house that my mom has. My sister's kids, my niece's kids. Right.
I got
Get the
you.
violin out, right?
I got you.
So the emotional attachments be coming along with people, right, that are in your family, and it's like you have to ultimately be the decision maker. So I just want you to double down.
I'm gonna double down
on what you said, bro.
Yeah. So this is my thing right here. Pretty much as straight as it get. We hoop and holler about we broke and we ain't got no money. We ain't got nothing going on. We can't get no motion. We can't get a break in life. We waiting on taxes every year. We behind on bills or whatever like that, and we sitting on $200,000. What? What you talking about, man? It's right there. You know what I mean? It's right there. All you have to do is release the emotional attachment and realize it's generational wealth, and generational wealth starts while you're alive.
While you're living.
While you're living. You can't have a succession plan to pass on a 50-year-old home to your kids and let them fight over it.
That you ain't gonna
That can't be the plan. It can't be the plan. The plan should be cash out on the equity at the appropriate time, take my $100,000, take $5,000, $7,000, go to Disney, and then put the rest of the and then manage.
Right. So real quick, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna add to that because somebody might be in that situation right now. Mom's gone.
Yep.
Properties, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Maybe my sibling passed. It's just me now in this house and all these emotional attachments. You have a service that I can reach out to you for.
Correct.
I may have $3 or $4 grand. I'm a filmmaker, photographer.
Yeah.
I might get, $5 grand, $6 grand at once on a project, right? But I'm also got cash flow.
Yeah, cash flow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I might take this next project and be like, hey, yo, Alex, I need to like,
For sure.
I need
For
to
sure.
flip like this four
yeah.
grand.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, for sure.
And I could come to you, what is that number, or, you know, like, I guess median, because I don't want to go minimum. I don't really want to go maximum. Can I bring you a certain amount of capital for you to find me a property? Like, give me a free consultation, man.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So
comp me one.
Yeah. So
Hypotheticals, though.
Hypotheticals. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. Hypotheticals. So one familiar hypothetical is someone who has owned a home and maybe has not. And we can go through different hypotheticals.
Right.
And I'm saying I'm moving away from the quick thing or whatever and just putting in a scenario. So a scenario would be where I've provided services.
Ideal. Let's look at the ideal one.
Ideal scenario. You're in your home right now. You've stayed in it for anywhere between 8 to 15 years.
Right.
You have a sizable amount of equity in it. We're talking about over 6 figures of equity, and you want to tap into that. And I've had people come to me, and the thing that's stopping them is $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of repairs. Okay, so in order to get the $100,000, you got to get the repairs done, right? I mean, whether it needs a new roof, whether it needs whatever, HVAC, whatever it is, something that we can get through with it. But if you're interested in tapping into the equity that you have and starting the actual generational wealth journey
while you're still living,
it would just behoove you to come and.
Well, I mean, while you're still living in the current house that you have, or you're talking about through selling the house that you have currently?
Through selling the house that you have. So the idea is that we have to trust ourselves a little bit more. We have to give ourselves more credit. I mean, we went through formal education, so we know math, right? We just got to be able to trust ourselves with $100,000.
Yeah.
You know,
hold on. Let me see. Let me. I think I'm gathering what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got $200,000 worth equity in the house that I live in, why not let this house go?
Let it go.
Get the equity out of it and get into a house that's smaller, maybe cheaper.
And then the thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be cheaper, because what we have to do is we have to realize it's a mindset. When you bought your house 10 years ago, the mortgage that you are paying was one from 10 years ago. You can afford more. You just are used to paying $1,200, $1,300.
So that's what people hold on to.
People hold on to that. I don't want to pay a $2,000 payment. I don't want to pay, a $25, whatever. I don't want to pay an $1,800.
I'm on a fixed income, Alex.
I'm on a fixed. Well, if you're on a fixed income, it's we got some other thing, but the main concept is you have to look at. And then remove all of the excuses, all of the barriers out of your way. I'm just saying, just for the record, real estate is a really easy way to create wealth organically. We go back to the $50,000 again. Nobody's going to pay you $50,000, and in one day, you can walk away with a proceeds check off selling your house of anywhere over six figures.
Yeah,
$100,000.
You got to know what you're doing with that bread, though.
Okay.
Alex.
Yep. You got to. That's the only risk now. But you can never say that you didn't get it. You know what I mean? So you got it.
You got this work.
You got it. You got it. And yeah, I mean, whatever you're gonna do with it. But if you're smart about it and you can get yourself in a position, just take the six figures, man. Go on, invest it, enjoy life. Get into another home that you can afford, and just live out life, man. Start over.
Last thing, man, before we get out of here,
Okay.
what I like to do when I have guests on, man, two things I want you to answer real quick.
Okay.
And it could be anything, all right?
All right, okay.
What do you want people to know? And secondly, what do you want people to do? You can answer the question at once, or you can answer it separately. Whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, brother. The people right there, man. Just let them know, man.
Yeah. So, again, I'm Alex Alderman. I'm a realtor in South Carolina. I primarily work in the Columbia metropolitan area, but I've worked all over the state. What I really want you to know is there are solutions It's about establishing value as an individual and as a collective, and you can do that through home ownership. There's resources available. There are resources available to you to make that a little bit easier. But think about it as an investment. We invest in a lot of things. We do a lot of things. We can be accountable for our funds through just investing in home ownership. It's a guaranteed equity builder. Homes appreciate with value organically, so you just can't go wrong with investing in that. I would say that just take the risk, take the initiative. It is an investment. If you need help or have any questions, I do offer free consultations. They're usually about 10 to 15 minutes. It's an opportunity for you. Ask me any questions you want to. It's no attachments to it. You can literally call me, and I will walk you through whatever scenario I will.
You want to give them the number, or should we
Yeah, absolutely. So my phone number is 404-272-0416. My email address is alex@aldermanpropertygroup.com, and my website is www.aldermanpropertygroup.com. You can visit any of those. You can visit my site, get in contact with me. I'll be happy to help you out if I can. And again, it's no attachments to it, man. I want people to be clear about that. There's no attachments to it. I have a good life, man. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yeah,
I'm blessed to the point that there is no major attachments that come with the services that I provide. I just so happen to get compensated for helping people out, and I just do it with as authentic as I can be. I do it, genuinely, and you can just trust that I can walk you through, and I've been through a lot of scenarios, and I can really help people out. So give me a call, again, 404-272-0416. I'm Alex Alderman.
Man, 100%, man. I feel that. I believe that, brother.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of value that you got out of this conversation. If you didn't, you probably want to just run it back. You know what I'm saying? Just run it back.
Yeah.
But again, this is Darius. Peace and grace to you. This is Darius Dior. This is Think Kingdom Media. Thank you to everybody on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the platforms. Thank you for adding value just by being here, leaving a comment, and doing what it is that you do. Please reach out to this brother. I believe he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Salute to y'all. Alex, thanks, man. Stay